Okay, so let's move on to trends, and I've noticed that the numbers and a couple of these questions look like each other. So I don't when if I see a question again that looks exactly like this, I won't do it just because you can just use this to sort of work through it. So let's look at this. I'm going to use this as theory here to sort of teach this again, and then you can sort of develop your own formulas because there is a formula. When I say there's a formula, we say that, oh well, actual is equal to trend plus the seasonal. But I think it's important to sort of see what's going on. So what are we saying? We're saying that we will have pieces of data. These are the actual pieces of data on this graph based at quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four. And we can extract a trend. We can extract a trend. And this is the trend. This trend, we use this trend to sort of extrapolate or predict some kind of future. We argue that if we can find a trend, a line of best fit around this data, we can predict what can happen in the following quarters. I mean, of course, this is on the assumption that this quarter carries on the way it is. It might be a cyclical quarter where it maybe swings back, so to speak, because it's quarterly. Maybe it's a yearly sort of thing. But anyway, the information we have is for the first 4 quarters. So what does this tell me? This tells me this, first of all, we start off saying the actual price all in is $30. That's the actual price. So the actual price is $30. And it's telling me that it's 4 away, but 4 below the trend. It's sort of saying that you're here at 30, right? You're here at 30. And that's 30, if you like, here. Right, was to do that across here, that's 30. But you're 4 below the trend. So your trend is actually here at 34. So your trend line is actually 34. So we say actual is 30 and the trend, which is 34, this is minus, so minus 4. That's what we're sort of saying. The plus sign is just to say it's plus, but if it's a negative, it's not really, it's not about plus or minus, it's just below. So when you see a minus, it means you're below the trend. The actual event is below the trend. That's the point. I'll repeat that. The actual event is below the trend by 4 units, if you like. So really, my trend here is 34. That's the trend if I was building my trend. Here again, the actual event again here is below the trend by 8. So I'm up here at 34, the actual event, and I'm below the trend by 8. So the question is, what is the trend? Well, it must be 34 plus 8. And so 34 plus 8, of course, again, you say you have here 34 is equal to, well, it must be 34 plus 8 is 42. So 42 minus 8, yes? So the actual the trend is at 42. 42. Right, 42. And so I should probably just use some different pen colors here. So you have here 34, 42. So the same principle. So the actual event is telling you it's 34 and it's 8 below the trend. And that's the way of thinking about it. It's 8 units below the trend. That's 34 over there. Now here it's telling you the actual event is the actual event is 4 above the trend. So this actual event of 54, is 4 above the trend. So that's 54 over there. And 4 above the trend puts us here at 50. This puts us here at 50. So we're here at 50. So this is 50. Sorry, change that to a blue pen. So this is 50. And then finally, what we see here, again here, is that the actual event is 8 above the trend. So I have 66 up there somewhere, and when I come down 66 less 8, I have, so here I have 50. So 66 less 8, I have 58, don't I? Because it's 66 is 8. And I can clearly see the trend. So now I can predict, you see, in the chaos of all these numbers. And so the trend in prices is an increase, of course, here of 8. Yes, I can see an increase of 8 as I keep going. And that's how we extrapolate trends. And so that's 8 per quarter. That's 8 per quarter. Cool, great stuff. Hope that helps.